Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about a grip change that can add 2 miles an hour to your fastball instantly. I'm Leif Strom, Director of Pitching at Shred Athletics. Let's get into it. As pitchers, we're always looking to emulate our favorite flamethrowers. An easy way to do that is by tucking your thumb on the fastball. Some of the most notable players that tuck their thumb: deGrom, Max Scherzer. These are the guys that I was looking to when I first decided to start tucking the thumb on my fastball. That led to the 2 mile an hour jump that I was looking for in the offseason. For some guys, the thumb tuck is going to be a conscious decision as you come set or when you're in the windup getting your fastball grip. For others that we see, especially with deGrom, these are guys that grabbing the baseball comes naturally for them to get the thumb into a tucked position. We know this because deGrom played shortstop in college, and in pictures and videos we can see the thumb is tucked even after fielding a ground ball. So something that may be a conscious decision for some is actually going to come naturally for some players. In general, if you're looking to implement a tuck of the thumb, you're probably going to have to get used to the way it feels in the hand. If you watch guys play catch who use a thumb tuck in their pitching delivery, a lot of times they're starting with the ball in a more comfortable position, and as they get the glove and ball together, they're going to set that thumb into the position that they're going to have through the arm swing. So 2 most popular ways to get the thumb tucked is to find this point on the thumb to which you can comfortably lay the ball. And you're kind of looking for the corner of that thumb to be underneath the pressure points of your 2 dominant fingers. The other way is to create a shelf for the ball to sit on and kind of get that thumb out of the way entirely. That's going to help a lot in terms of getting the fingers display force behind the baseball. Some things you can consider when thinking about tucking the thumb is what your arsenal looks like. A lot of times guys will have a little bit more trouble getting to supinated positions with a tucked thumb. So if you're a guy who's relying on a seam shifted 2-seam, it might not be the smartest move to have that thumb tucked further underneath the baseball, because you may be in a more comfortable position for you to work to the outside of the baseball to create the efficiency you need to get the seam effects in a seam shifted single. The thumb tuck can also be a tool in helping to guide the arm to positions you want it to be in. A lot of times you're going to see guys with a very prominent tuck be a little bit more rotational in the arm swing as they get the arm up into foot strike. So this is going to be like Abner Uribe, deGrom, guys like that who you see have a tighter rotational arm swing up into foot strike. And guys like Mason Miller and Duran, you're going to see them a little stabbier and not as pronounced of a tuck, if tucking even at all. A secondary consideration is the size of Mason Miller and Duran. Those guys are much bigger, and you have to take into consideration the kind of meatiness of the hand and the strength you have in the hand. It may be harder for you to get this thumb over if you have a little bit bigger palms, more musculature in the hand in general. Another point may be where you sit on the bait and laxity scale. So guys who can take the thumb and put it to their forearm with some relative ease are most likely going to have a slightly easier time getting the thumb to some kind of odd positions on the baseball because it's more comfortable for them. If you're a guy that's very tight distally, then it's going to be a little bit harder for you to put the thumb in positions that you're not as comfortable with. An interesting note to make is that when guys pose for a baseball card, or even when they're showing people how they grip their fastball, a lot of times you'll see the thumb in a more comfortable position to just hold the baseball out. And this is in contrast to what they actually do when they're in their delivery, which is a full tuck of the thumb. This kind of goes back to when you see a guy play catch who tucks the thumb. A lot of times when he's just holding the baseball, getting ready to throw, you'll see the thumb in a more comfortable position just to hold the ball in his hand. And as he puts it in his glove, then we'll see the thumb get to a position to tuck because he has the glove to help him work into the hand positioning he needs to throw his fastball the way that he wants to. This is why in general you'll see lots of pictures of guys holding their fastball grip out and it all looks the same, is because they're using their thumb as an anchor point for that ball to rest on, just for the sake of a picture. So the thumb can also be a tool to kind of clean up the arm path if you're looking to do that in your delivery. The reason that is because when you tuck your thumb, it's going to give you a little less stabilization as you go through points of momentum within the arm spiral up. So what this could do is, if you're a guy that is used to having a strong anchor point and have trouble with a big stabby action that you want to clean up, tucking the thumb can actually help you stay a little bit more conscious of where the ball is in space and how that's impacting the way it gets up into foot strike. Now, the opposite can be said for if you use a stab to get your arm timing. So maybe a guy like Mason Miller, who tends to be a little stabbier, he is not going to be as tucked with that thumb, because for him to fully tuck and keep that stab, you're going to see a little bit of destabilization of the baseball through that action. It might be subconscious, but it could impact your ability to throw strikes or just get behind the baseball the way you want to. A good time to implement it is 2 to 3 months before you're going to get into high intensity bullpens. The reason for this is because you want to make sure that you're comfortable with where your thumb placement is, and it kind of wants to feel like second nature as you get into this before you get on the mound and start trying to rip fastballs. Tucking the thumb in the middle of the season is probably not the best idea, especially if you're a guy who has historically maybe struggled with command or lost some feel for his pitches midway through the season. A way to implement, if this is even feasible for you to gain miles per hour, is to do some split testing and catch play to start. You don't need to be throwing 100% in order to know if this will work for you. A lot of times guys are just gonna be playing catch 80 miles an hour, 82 miles an hour, tuck the thumb, see that it's 84, and you've got a split test you can run for the next month or two. It's a great way to kind of determine if this is something you should bring to the mound or if this is something you can keep in the bag. The key to tucking the thumb, like with anything, is going to be repetition. You want to get a lot of reps, especially making sure you're conscious of it in catch play, so that when you get to the mound, it can be something subconscious that is implemented just when you apply force to the baseball. So we've talked about tucking the thumb with the fastball to gain velocity. Now you're probably thinking, well, I can do that with all of my pitches to put velocity on all of those too. It's not quite how it works, because a lot of times you're going to use the thumb to apply pressure to different areas in the baseball. Take a guy who likes to stay behind the baseball and throws a cutter. He might want to throw his cutter harder, but tucking the thumb could limit his ability to get to the side of the baseball he needs to create the action he's looking for in a cutter. So make sure that when implementing this, you're either on TrackMan or you have someone visually comparing the two types, and you can actually split test those as well to see the shape and the velocity of the pitches you're trying to create. So not only have we implemented this with athletes that shred and see solid trends upwards, but this is actually something that helped me a lot in my career back in 2017-18, was getting the thumb to tuck and seeing an immediate increase in my velocity over the course of an off season. I got my inspiration from deGrom, who I saw had a very prominent tuck. So make sure to look at your favorite pitcher's grip and see kind of where they're at on the baseball, and maybe get yourself some inspiration for where you should be as well. Like with anything in our sport, the thumb tuck is not going to work for everyone, and you're going to have to spend some time to understand if that's something you should do or not do. If you want help in speeding up that process, click the link below and we can help you, just like we've helped many athletes understand how they work best in terms of their bias or even their training patterns. If you have any other questions about tucking the thumb or any other fastball grips in general, feel free to leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.